3, 2, 1, go. What's up, fellow Vanguard nerds? I'm Babblerab, and this is a lot of Bermuda Triangle stuff. So, basically, I got this idea about last week or so, and my thoughts were, hey, Christmas is coming up in like six or so days, like 5 days. 20th, 21st, 22nd, 23rd, 24th, 25th. 6 days right up until Christmas. And my mentality before was like, I've got 6 Bermuda decks, and the 19th all the way to the 24th is 6 days. So I could do 1 Bermuda deck profile per day. Now, it was a good idea, except the problem is I went and hung out with friends yesterday and didn't get around to recording any of these deck profiles at all. So, basically how it's gonna happen is today I'm gonna be posting 2 deck profiles to make up for the one that I didn't post yesterday, and then right up until Christmas you're gonna see 1 Bermuda Triangle deck profile per day, and then on Christmas I got a special surprise coming for you guys. A very interesting and hilarious deck profile that I'm hoping you all will enjoy. So I'm just gonna go a quick overview of all the Bermuda decks that I have built. We got Pacifica here, and you know, it's Pacifica. Best deck ever. Not really. I've built Reindeer. This is probably like the 3rd version of it. I cannot get this deck to work. Here is Dream Team Legion. This deck is quite fun to play, and it's pretty mean. I've got Harmony, Mirror, Infinite Break Ride, Duos, and then of course Prisms, which is my main deck. So yeah, the order of the decks that you will be seeing is today, after I am done talking about this intro, I will be posting Pacifica and Reindeer for you guys to see. Tomorrow is going to be Mirror, Infinite Break Ride, then Harmony, then Dream Team Legion, and then finally Prisms. We're going to start with Pacifica, and then we're going to jump to Reindeer, and then the rest of these are going to show up in the next 4 days. So let's get straight to it. This deck profile was brought to you in part by ringing phones. They stop deck profiles from happening because they ring. Feels bad. Okay. So the first of the 6 deck profiles that was actually supposed to be Reindeer, and for some reason I was like, let's do Pacifica at first instead, because I'm cool like that. Anyway, this was my first Bermuda deck. I think it was also the first video that I posted here. I don't think I've updated, or I've shown an updated build of this deck in like ever. So, yeah. Basically, the whole gimmick of how this deck works now is you skim through your deck. Once you get to your grade 3, once you get to the grade 3s, you basically essentially grab like 5 or so of these in a single turn, and you get to the point where basically you've cut, you've removed 8 cards from your deck over the course of 2 or so turns, and then this essentially allows you to hit triggers much easier due to the deck thinning. So it's not uncommon for me to be able to crit sack someone when they're at 2 damage and actually win with this deck. All I need to hit is 2 crit triggers and I can get a kill on if they're at 2 damage. I have triple critted before with this deck. It's not nice. Both Kopak and Kigo Nico have been on the receiving end of a crit sack from this deck. It is absolutely amazing. I am in love with this deck's ability to crit sack. It does suffer from some severe consistency issues, however, where you'll have hands where if you never see Friend of the Sun, your deck just does not operate and you just get your ass kicked. But then at the same time, if you run into glorious hands where you're sitting with multiple Monas, plus like a Friend of the Sun or 2, and you're just like, okay, well, I'm just gonna thin through my deck like crazy, power up all my rear guards to idiotic numbers, and then just attack. So, very polarizing in how it plays, but overall, very fun deck to play. So I'm probably gonna actually show you the deck instead of just saying, you know, this is a really fun deck, guys. And now we're gonna go on to the Reindeer deck. This is fun too. Now we're gonna go on to the next deck. This deck is also fun. Starters, first lesson Akari. The mentality is the play that you usually do with her is when you have your Pacifica. Let me just grab a Pacifica real quick. So this is the Somerset one. So we're just gonna assume this is your starter, and she's sitting here, and you just finished striding. So what's nice about this is we're gonna assume that you've got a Friend of the Sun. So you put her into your soul, bounce her to your hand, draw a card, and then she thins your deck. So basically the whole gimmick here, and what makes Akari nice, is A, you get a card for free, B, it's a free bounce of Friend of the Sun, which is very important because Friend of the Sun is pretty much your main way of thinning through the deck. So yeah, that is why I'm playing Akari. Currently, I don't think there's any other grade 0s that have really caught my eye for this deck. First Lesson Akari is a really good GB grade 0. Trigger lineup. So triggered. 4 heals, you know, because I was playing 3 before because I don't want to be a hipster like that. then I was like, you know what, I got killed too much, so I gotta play 4. No, I'm kidding, I never played 3. 2 Dreamer Crook. Once again, your entire deck seems like, I literally think this is more or less just Friend of the Sun deck, because she's really, the extra attacks are really good. In addition, if you have 3 Pacificas in your hand, Friend of the Sun will pump up something by 5k, plus again, you can thin through more Pacificas on the battle phase even before your Vanguard attacks, so that's really nice. I should really just leave a Friend of the Sun set aside because I think I'm going to be reaching for that card several more times before I even get to her. And we're playing 10 crits. I was originally playing, I think, 8 before, and then was like, let's jump it up to 12, and then 12 actually was pretty fun, and then I decided, let's cut it down to 10. I'm going to put a link to their channel in the description, but Cardfight Calgary actually did Ian from Cardfight Calgary did a deck profile of his Pacifica deck, and I think it was like a day before the tournament, and I was watching, I was just like, hey, he's playing 2 Dreamer Crook, let's try this. And when I went to the tournament, like the next day, I actually freaking loved her. Crook was amazing. So the 10 crits, you see them enough. You don't really need 12. I mean, if you want to be a badass, you run 16. And I may actually, this might actually be something that I'll do for fun, is just like grab 16 fucking Bermuda crits and then just like, you know what, heal triggers are irrelevant, Crook's irrelevant. Deck balance is not important, you just need critical triggers, as seen in this video right here. Those 7 Pyrolas were absolutely amazing. And, you know, so the key to playing Pacifica is you need, so pro tips guys, I know we're in the middle of the deck profile, but I gotta cut out to give you guys pro tips. So you got your starter, that's all you need. You got your 8 Pacificas, that's all you really need. I'm just gonna grab the 8 Pacificas here. I'm going way off topic, but you know, gotta make a joke here. So you got your 8 Pacificas, and you know, 1 or 2 grade 2s, or 1 or 2 grade 1s and grade 2s, just so you're able to get to your Pacificas. And then what really shines in the deck is you gotta play your like 30 crits. That's the only way to win with this deck, is you just need to make sure that you need 10 times 3. You need those 30 crits. So it's like every drive check, doesn't matter if you're bricking or not, you just need to sack those crits. Also style points if you're running 7 Pyrolos. Moving on to the grade 1s after that beautiful going off of topic. But seriously guys, 7 Pyrolos. Oh, and if you can take your opponent's critical triggers from their deck to put into your deck, all the better. And then the moment they start bitching about it, you quickly swap out all the cards so it looks like a normal Pacifica deck. 4 PGs, defense. Nothing really to say there. I'm gonna not show this one yet. 3 Stride Enablers. Your main power play is going for Twinkle Happiness Pacifica, and then later on going for Olivia. So, you need to make sure you're able to stride frequently. I don't think you need 4. If I said 4 previously, I'm stupid, but you don't need 4 because the grid 1 space is a little bit tight, because there are other cards I actually want to run that do stuff in the deck. Next, grade 1s. This card, I don't know if anyone actually plays it. In Pacifica, I haven't seen too many profiles, and I don't think it's been played. But what's good about Mona is she's a counterblast 1, you bounce a unit, and once again, we're going to talk about Friend of the Sun here. So basically, you have Friend of the Sun. The goal of your grade 3 mid game is to just loop this as many times as humanly possible in a single turn. So you're going from having like 1 Pacific into your hand to having like 6 or 7. Mind you, there is a problem here because your hand looks a lot more intimidating than it actually is, because you're able to literally just say, okay, I've got a hand of 2 triggers, a grade 2, Mona, and 5 Pacificas. Alright, cool, I've got 9 cards in my hand. 5 of them are actually useful. 4 of them are actually useful. So there is that. However, the mass thinning of the Pacifica with Friend of the Sun is super important in this deck, because again, you need to thin that deck out, get to the point where you have tons of crits in your deck and not many other cards that you need. I mean, the only thing you're doing is cycling through the grade 3s, but it actually makes such a difference. So again, I'm playing 3 of her because if you see a Friend of the Sun, which you want to see pretty much every single game, you need to be able to bounce her frequently. And due to the amount of bouncing to hand that I use, I'm playing 2 Prism Duo Yarmarks. For everyone who doesn't know, she gains 3k every time something is bounced. So as I said, you're bouncing Friend of the Sun excessively, so she can get pretty big. So that's pretty nice. And then to help with the additional Pacifica searching, we got 2 Superb New Student Shizuku. Every time, or when she's in Harmony, once per turn, check top 5 for grade 3. So even if you don't end up seeing Friend of the Sun, I know, Friend of the Sun is the most important card, guys. So important. You gotta play 4. You should play 10. But If you don't see Friend of the Sun, she's a good secondary. In addition to doing a Friend of the Sun search, what you would usually do is you would, if you had both on the field, you would do a Superb New Student, get her skill off first, check top 5 because you have more grade 3s in deck, and then you would go and just spam the fuck out of Friend of the Sun. But she's there as an additional grade 3 search if you don't have Friend of the Sun, and Friend of the Sun, just most important card. I'm gonna like just save a video just for Friend of the Sun, probably not. Okay, grade 2s. We are playing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We are playing 11 copies of Friend of the Sun if we were able to, so we can only play 4 because we're not able to play 11. So, actually, honestly, if you could play 8 copies of a card in a deck, I would probably be just completely removing Dreaming Step Shizuka for 4 more Friends of the Sun because you have to see her every game. She's just that important to the deck. Anyway, so this is the core of your deck right here, aside from your Pacificas, but we'll get to that later. Friend of the Sun is when she is bounced to your hand. During your turn, if you have Pacifica in your Vanguard, I should read this. If she is bounced to your hand, you have Vanguard and Pacifica, search your deck for up to 1 card with Pacifica and its card name, reveal it to your opponent, add to your hand, shuffle your deck, choose up to 3 cards with Pacifica in your card name, in its card name. English is a great language. I totally recommend learning it. It's so tough. So, you bounce, when she's bounced your hand, add a Pacifica to your hand, reveal up to 3 Pacificas from your hand. If you do, unflip 1 damage, soul charge 1. This does say Soul Blast, but it was a typo for everyone who doesn't know. And then you choose a unit, it gets 5k. So, this is not restricted to once per turn, meaning that if you're able to keep returning her to your hand, you're able to keep grabbing Pacificas. Hence the reason why I'm playing Monas and Crooks and, like, friggin' other bouncy bounce things, is so that you can, like, literally loop her effects so many times that you've pulled 6 or 7 Pacificas to your hand. The most I have actually got off of this effect in 1 turn was, I think, 7. Which is basically the rest of my Pacificas. 7? 6? Something along those lines, but with the right hand, this card can get insane. You can make these colossal columns, and most importantly, thin 6 cards out of your deck in a single turn, which is super important, again, for the trigger stacking. So again, if you're playing Pacifica, you must play 4 of her. I recommend it. I don't know. Actually, don't just recommend it. I demand that you play 4 of her. You must play 4. She's your blood, the core of the deck. Yay, talking! So now we get to the other grade 2s, which are literally not as important. Dreaming Step Shizuku, reason was because I was originally playing the 12k attackers, and then it was just like, well, it's a 12k attacker, I don't really care. She becomes 14k, so whatever, and she can search Pacifica, I don't know. There needs to be a better choice for her than her. I can't think of anything right now. So if you guys got any suggestions on, like, what would be a better choice than Dreaming Step, because this is, like, out of my grade 2 lineup, 7 of the 11 are solid. I am happy with them. It's just I don't know what to do with the remaining 4. So any recommendations, go for it. I'll just read what Dreaming Step Shizuka does real quick. So Harmony, you pitch a grade 3 card from your hand when she attacks a Vanguard. You can pay the cost. If you do, she gets 5k in the end of battle. And then if she's in Harmony, you check top 5 for grade 3. So it's not bad. She becomes 14k on her own, which is not bad. And she checks top 5 if she's in Harmony. The only problem, once again, is that I don't really like her as much as some other stuff. What does make her nice, though, is that she can help get Pacificas out of your hand. Since you're going to have a shit ton in your hand, you can get yourself down to 3 instead of just using them for, like, stride, which is... Striding with the Pacificas is phenomenal as well. But she can help set up, sort of. I don't like the whole thing where she pitches a grade 3 from hand, or she has to do that, so... I don't know. She's a 14k attacker, so that's something, but still not too big of a fan of her. Again, not too sold on these 4. Remaining grade 2s, 3 Spica. I'm literally running at least 3 Spica in every single one of my decks. You kind of just want to play Spica in like almost everything if you stride, solely due to the fact that she swings, you counterblast 1, you bounce a unit, you call a unit from your hand. Once again, I don't think I need to explain why that's good. Friend of the Sun is best card. Moving on to the grade 3s. Okay, grade 3 lineup is 2 Top Idol. Happiness is best happiness. Wow, English. 3 Eternal, 3 Planet. So basically, originally I was playing 2 Planet because I don't have the Somerset 3rd one. I'm sad. So. But yeah, I was playing 4 Eternal because I thought she had the best effect, and then I realized, wait, I never use the actual skill of my Vanguard when I'm not striding. So why do I actually care which one I'd prefer to have? So instead, I'm just doing 3 Planet, 3 Eternal, 2 Top Idol. I've seen other builds where they're running 9 and it's just 3 through 3. but I'm willing to take the risk of not losing her solely because I don't want to interrupt the ratios of my, or I don't want to disrupt the ratios of my other deck because they are kind of tight. Other grades because they are kind of tight. But yeah, so yeah, bringing happiness to you, Planet Idol for more happiness, and the Eternal Idol for eternal happiness. Yay, happiness! Again, any recommendations on any of the ratios or the grade 3 lineup, let me know in the comments below. So, now we get to the most important part of the deck, the Stride deck. We are playing 4 copies of Twinkle Happiness Pacifica. So, what she does for everyone who's like seeing Pacifica for the first time, I'm a little disappointing you guys. You counterblast 1, unflip a copy of herself, bounce a unit to hand, add a Pacifica from deck to hand, and then you can reveal 3 Pacificas with different names. And if you do, she gets +1 crit. So ideally what you do is we get to the most important card in the entirety of the deck. We grab our Friend of the Sun. We use her skill, we unflip a copy of herself, we bounce her to hand, add 2 Pacificas, 1 from this, 1 from this. Her skill gets +1 crit. Easy game, easy life. And she also powers something up by 5k because life is good. So, yeah, she's a really good first stride. If you've already got a decent amount of Pacificas in your hand, you're freaking gold on that. And then, yeah, again, she gets +1 critical, and with the rate that this deck thins its grade 3s out, you're probably going to see at least 1 to 2 crits when you actually swing with her triple drive. So it's not uncommon for you to actually sack for like 4+ damage on like the first attack with her. I freaking love this card. It's so mean. And Kiko, Nico, and Kopek both hate this card because I crit sack. Crit sacking is fun. 4 Olivias because it's freaking Olivia. Again, if you don't have the money for this card, you don't need it per se. It's just if you're playing and trying to compete with this deck, Olivia is pretty good. So yeah, 4 of her. One thing that works really nicely as a good backup, depending on what you have, is Lucky Res Alprina. So let's assume you've got the choice. You're gonna stride Alprina or you're gonna stride Happiness Pacifica. I mean, the obvious choice is to stride Happiness because happiness. But let's assume you're in a scenario where you don't really care too much about crit sacking them, and you're just like, well, I just want to take shit from my hand and put it onto the field. So what you could do instead, and save a counterblast, is if you have like 2 Maracas or 2 Friends of the Sun, what you could do instead is if you want to save her for a bit later, you stride Alprina instead. And then you Soul Blast 2 and bounce both of these. These 2 both effects go off and you get 2 Pacificas. Again, you would get 2 Pacificas with this anyway, but this will also power up by 5k, so if you want to just have a more rounded field rather than just like, I have a big Vanguard that has 2 crit, now you better perfect guard this or I'm going to kill you. I mean, that's pretty good, but I mean, if you need to balance out the power, you need to get some damage on flipping, she can be useful for bouncing multiples of these to hand, so that's pretty nice. She's a good backup, but not as decent if... Actually, technically, what you could do is, like, I think you... Oh, combos, guys. Combo time! Combo time! Where are my other Friends of the Sun? Oh, no, they're missing. Okay, here we go. Mad combos. Where are my other Friends of the Sun? This is actually it's actually worrying me. I don't know where they went. Oh, they're at the back. Okay. Ready for mad combos, everyone? Here we go. Here we go. This is, like, literally... I just thought of this. This is best combo. Okay, so, here's the cute play. So, use your first stride, right? So what you do is you go like this, and then you do this, and then you bounce her, and then you get, where is she? And then you get this, right? And then what you do is you call her back, right? And then you Soul Blast, and then you bounce, wait, no, I had to do that wrong. She's in your hand, actually, and then you call her, and then you counterblast, and you bounce, you get another one. Where is she? This one. There's 2 Pacificas now, guys. And then you call her back, and then you Soul Blast, and then you bounce both of them. And then you get another Pacifica. Look at that. That's like 3 Pacificas in a turn. And then it gets better, right? Because you've got this. And then you call her back. And then you counterblast again. Yeah, bounce. And then the counterblast is actually free. And you get 4 Pacificas off of... That's actually not bad. I just thought of that. I'm so going to start using this combo now. It's so brilliant. So yeah, that's combo time, guys. Now you know how to get 4 Pacificas to your hand with like 1 Mona, an Alprina, and a Akari. Which... surprisingly is not bad considering the fact you didn't go Happiness Pacifica. So you can loop Mona. That's pretty good. My happiness. Oh shit, it fell on the floor. One sec, guys, I must recover my happiness. Got it! Okay, going back on the topic of the deck. So again, just because of that, she just got like way more useful. I totally did not know that actually until now. So that's pretty cool. But yeah, again, good backup if you've burnt through all your Twinkle Happiness Pacificas and you don't have the counterblast for like an Olivia play or something. So yeah, I'm running 2. Where's the second one? 2. Because I'll play now. And then for the rest of the G-Zone, we are playing... Let me just put my Monas away without bending them. Very important. Okay. 2 of Nasha, 2 of Leona. So Nasha, you're gonna have grade 3s in your hand, so her like she's pretty much costless since you've already revealed the Pacificas that are in your hand, so no issues there. And then Leona, just because Bermuda G-Guard and you can pull stuff back to your hand, so that's nice. And technically what you could do is, again, oh gosh, look at this, all these combos with Friend of the Sun. Oh man. It's like she's important to the deck or something. Okay. So what you do, cute combo, is you bounce her back to your hand. You probably want 2 in your hand because you're going to lose her here. So you bounce her back to your hand after G-Guard. And then you unflip a damage. And then you pull a Pacifica to your hand. And then you... Wait, English? Nope. Thinking is hard. How do you do this again? You bounce her back to your hand. You call her to Guardian Circle. Her skill still activates. And then you get a Pacifica. Whee. And then you power up like your Vanguard by 5k. Really? Yeah, you power up your Vanguard by 5k. So it's like a 5k permanent boost. This is pretty good. She can be used offensively or defensively. She's such a good card. Why do you not play 8 of her? I want to play 8 of her. So yeah, Leona. Cute card. Cute plays. And then Friend of the Sun must survive. And you need to stride. So that's basically the mentality for Seabreeze plus Dismal, is because Friend of the Sun needs to live. And this needs to protect, or not protect, it needs to give you first stride. So yeah. That is... Happiness and Crit Sack.deck. And I'm going to just show you all my happiness again. So we got happiness, happiness, more happiness, and maximum happiness in the front. So again, if you guys have any questions or any suggestions about the deck, leave them in the comment section below. And I am Babblerab, and tune in for the Reindeer Deck Profile coming probably about 30 minutes after this is posted. Yay! See you guys in the next video. Tell me you didn't already fucking stop. Oh, it's not. What's nice about this deck is that fuck, the phone is ringing. I'm gonna go answer the phone.